I don't know what it is.
Well, they used to have those products growing up. I used to hear always use bleach and glow, but you'd have to have about 300,000 gallons to...
Okay, number one, this is the situation. I have a skin disorder that destroys the pigmentation of the skin. It's something that I cannot help, okay? But when people make up stories that I don't want to be who I am, it hurts me.
So it is.
It's a problem for me, okay? I can't control it, okay? But what about all the millions of people? Let's reverse it.
Okay.
What about all the millions of people who sit out in the sun to become darker, to become other than what they are? Nobody says nothing about that.
So when did this start? When did the color of your skin start to change?
Oh boy, sometime after Thriller, around Off the Wall Thriller, sometime
And what did you
there.
think? I mean,
It's in my family. My father said it's on his side. I can't control it. I don't understand. I mean, it makes me very sad.
Wacko Jacko. Where'd that come from? Some English tabloid. I have a heart and I have feelings. I feel that when you do that to me. It's not nice. Don't do it.
Michael Jackson passou boa parte da sua vida sendo entrevistado como se fosse um mistério que todo mundo queria descobrir. Mas o mais curioso é que, quanto mais pesada ficavam as perguntas, menos ele parecia se abalar. Ele nem sempre respondia com raiva. Às vezes mantinha a calma, outras vezes dava um sorriso. Em alguns momentos, simplesmente respondia o necessário e deixava o entrevistador sem saber o que dizer.
how nervous are you right now?
I'm not nervous at all, actually.
You really aren't.
No, I never get nervous.
You don't.
No.
No, not even for your first interview and it's live around the world? I thought you'd be a little nervous, but that's great, because if you're not nervous, I won't be nervous. I just wanted to let the world know that when we agreed to do this interview, you said that you would be willing to talk to me about everything, and we haven't discussed one single question that's going to be asked here tonight. Just wanted to make that
That's
right.
very true.
Very true.
Em 1993, a Oprah conseguiu algo que não acontecia havia 14 anos. Uma entrevista de Michael Jackson ao vivo na televisão. E logo nos primeiros minutos, ficou claro que aquilo não seria só um papo tranquilo com uma celebridade. As perguntas seriam diretas, e o assunto ficaria bem mais sério do que muitos esperavam.
Do you go out? Do you date?
Yes.
Who do you date?
Well, right now it's Brooke Shields. Well, we try not to just be everywhere and go. It's mostly at home. She'll come over. I'll go to her house because I don't like going out in the public.
Have you ever been in love?
Yeah.
With Brooke Shields?
Yes, and another girl.
And another girl?
Em um dos momentos mais marcantes da entrevista, Oprah fez uma pergunta que até hoje é lembrada. Você é virgem? Michael respondeu com a maior calma. Sou um cavalheiro. Com uma frase simples, ele conseguiu escapar de uma pergunta super pessoal e invasiva, sem perder a classe ou demonstrar irritação.
I'm going to ask you this, and it's embarrassing for me to ask you this, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Are you a virgin?
How could you ask me that question?
I just want to know. I want to know.
I'm a gentleman.
You're a gentleman.
I'm a gentleman.
So,
I'm a gentleman.
Okay, I would interpret that to mean that means that you believe that a lady is a lady, and therefore...
That's something that's private. I mean, shouldn't be spoken about openly. You can call me old-fashioned if you want, but, to me that's very personal.
So you're not going to answer it?
I'm embarrassed.
Mais tarde, Oprah admitiu que até ela se sentiu desconfortável ao fazer aquela pergunta. E esse momento diz muito sobre a relação de Michael Jackson com a mídia. Ele vivia sendo pressionado a falar sobre sua vida pessoal, mesmo quando ele não queria. Quando uma pergunta passava dos limites, Michael preferia não dar ao entrevistador aquilo que ele estava esperando. Uma reação exagerada.
Well, we would like to know whether or not there is a possibility that you are going to marry one day and have children.
I would feel that my life isn't complete if I do not, because I adore the family life. I adore children, and I adore that whole thing. And I would love to. That's one of my dreams, but I couldn't right now because I'm married. I am married, but to my work. I'm married to my music.
A entrevista de 1993 também foi importante porque mostrou como os tabloides já estavam começando a influenciar a imagem que o público tinha de Michael Jackson. Naquela época, Muita gente estava mais interessada no rosto, na pele, no corpo dele, do que aquilo que ele realmente tinha para dizer.
Then let's go to the thing that is most discussed about you, I think, is the fact that the color of your skin is obviously different than it was when you were younger.
Yes.
And so I think it has caused a great deal of speculation and controversy as to what you have done or are doing. Are you bleaching your skin? And is your skin lighter because you don't like being black?
Okay, number one, as I know of, there is no such thing as skin bleaching. I have never seen it. I don't know what it is.
Em sua autobiografia de 1988, Mom Walker, e depois na entrevista com a Oprah, em 1993, Michael Jackson afirmou que tinha feito só 2 cirurgias do nariz e colocado um implante para criar uma covinha no queixo. Ele também negou outros rumores sobre as supostas cirurgias que circulavam na imprensa.
To have those products growing up, I used to hear always use bleach and glow, but you'd have to have about 300,000 gallons to.
Okay, number one, this is the situation. I have a skin disorder that destroys the pigmentation of the skin. It's something that I cannot help. Okay, but when people make up stories that I don't want to be who I am, it hurts me.
So it is.
It's a problem for me, okay? I can't control it, okay? But what about all the millions of people? Let's reverse it.
Okay.
What about all the millions of people who sit out in the sun to become darker, to become other than what they are? Nobody says nothing about that.
So when did this start? When did the color of your skin start to change?
Oh boy, sometime after Thriller, around Off the Wall Thriller,
And
sometime
what did you
around there.
think? I mean,
It's in my family. My father said it's on his side. I can't control it. I don't understand. I mean, it makes me very sad.
how much plastic surgery have you had?
Very, very little. You can count them on 2 fingers.
More
Read
like
my book, Moonwalker. It's in my book.
Uh-huh.
You know, let's just put it this way. If all the people in Hollywood who have had plastic surgery, if they went on vacation, there wouldn't be a person left in town.
I think you might be right.
I think I am right. I mean,
Ele também explicou que a mudança na cor de pele era causada pelo vitiligo, uma condição que mais tarde foi identificada em sua autópsia. Então, quando o público viu Michael Jackson sentado diante de Oprah, eles não estavam vendo só uma celebridade respondendo perguntas. Estavam vendo um homem tentando esclarecer a própria história, enquanto rumores, fofocas e especulações já tinham criado uma imagem sobre ele.
I don't want to go into my medical history because that's something that's private, but that's the situation here. So please, when people see
So,
something
okay,
like
I just
that,
want to get this straight.
Yeah.
You are not taking anything to change the color of your skin.
Oh God, no.
You did not purposely.
We're trying to control it, and using makeup evens it out because it makes blotches on the skin, and I have to even out my skin. But you know what's funny? Why is that so important? You know, that's not important to me. I'm a great fan of art. I love Michelangelo. If I had a chance to talk to him or read about him, I would want to know about what inspired him to become who he is, the anatomy of his craftsmanship, not about who he went out with last night or why he decided to sit out in the sun so long. What's wrong with, I mean, that's what's important to me.
Essa é uma das grandes razões pelas quais as entrevistas de Michael Jackson continuam viralizando até hoje. Ele não parecia estar na defensiva, como muitos entrevistadores esperavam. Pelo contrário, parecia estar tranquilo, no controle. Era como se soubesse que o público já tinha criado sua própria opinião sobre ele. Mas mesmo assim, ele ainda queria ter uma chance de contar o seu lado da história. E na entrevista com Barbara Walters, em 1997, essa situação voltou a acontecer.
Are you psychic? Is that what you're saying?
I don't want to say that, but I've done it before. I've been living in that kind of life all my life. The tabloid press, that kind of press, not the press, the tabloid, the paparazzi, that type. I've been running for my life like that, hiding, getting away. You can't go that way because they're over there. And well, let's go this way. Pretend we're going that way and we'll go that way. Somebody say, hold on, stop. This person deserved their privacy. You are not allowed to go there.
A entrevista foi gravada em Paris e depois exibida pela ABC. Naquela época, Michael estava há anos sendo alvo da imprensa por causa da sua aparência, da vida pessoal, dos seus hábitos. Barbara Walters perguntou sobre os paparazzis e também sobre sua vida privada. Naquele período, a mídia continuava completamente obcecada com a aparência de Michael.
This you should not do. You should not say he's an animal. Should not say he's Jacko. I'm not a Jacko. I'm Jackson.
How do you feel when they call you
Yeah,
Wacko
Wacko
Jacko?
Jacko. Where'd that come from? Some English tabloid. I have a heart and I have feelings. I feel that when you do that to me. It's not nice. Don't do it. I'm not a wacko.
There are those who would say that you add to the attention.
No, I don't.
Well, the masks, the mysterious behavior.
There's no mysterious behavior. There's a time when I give a concert, I like to have as many people want to come can come and enjoy the show. And there's a time where you like to be in private when you put on your pajamas, go to sleep, cut off the light, ding, and lay down. That's your private space. If you go in the park, I can't go in the park though. So I create my own park at Neverland, my own water space, my movie theater, my theme park. That's all for me to enjoy.
Esse foi mais um momento em que o entrevistador tentava descobrir o lado mais pessoal de Michael, mas ele respondeu com calma, sem perder o controle, sendo educado até demais. E foi justamente isso que fez a situação funcionar. Michael não deu a reação explosiva que eles esperavam usar nas manchetes.
I don't want this to sound insulting. I'm just going to be straight with you. But you are somewhat eccentric, to say the least. The way you dress, the way you look, it invites attention. More extreme. You don't think that calls the paparazzi to you?
No.
No?
No. Maybe I like to live that way. I like to dress that way. I don't want paparazzi, really. But if they come, be kind. Write the right kind thing to write.
Michael, is it the journalist's role or the press's role to be kind?
To be kind?
Because the press also sometimes has to look into things, be tough. You can't always be kind.
What you saw it happen to Lady Diana. You tell me. There should be some boundaries, some kind of way. The star needs some space. Give him a chance to relax. He has a heart. He's human.
Em meados dos anos 90, essas entrevistas ficaram ainda mais pesadas, porque as perguntas já não eram só sobre fama, agora envolviam polêmicas, escândalos e suspeitas. E é justamente isso que torna a entrevista de 95, em horário nobre, com a Diana Sawray e a Lisa Marie Presley, tão interessante.
Who proposed? I mean, how did marriage actually get discussed?
Well, at first, this is what happened. When she was 18, I used to tell my lawyer, John Branca, do you know Lisa Marie Presley? He'd go, well, I represent her mother. I go, well, can you get in touch with her? Because I think she's really cute. And he'd laugh every time. He goes, I'll do my best. That's what he'd say. Then he'd come back. I said, well, did you find out? He said, no, there's nothing. So I would worry him about this all the time. The next thing I noticed, there's a picture on a magazine cover where she's married, which really tore me to pieces.
A Vanity Fair informou mais tarde que cerca de 60 milhões de pessoas assistiram à entrevista. Essa também foi a primeira grande entrevista de Michael Jackson, depois das acusações de 93. Por isso, tudo parecia muito mais do que uma simples conversa. Era quase como um julgamento público, só que diante de milhões de pessoas. A entrevista foi divulgada como uma conversa aberta e sem filtros, o que mostra bem o clima daquela época. Michael e Lisa Marie não estavam falando só sobre seu casamento, eles estavam falando isso no meio de muita desconfiança, com tabloides atrás de qualquer novidade e uma enorme pressão da mídia.
Did you ask Michael about the charges? Did the two of you talk about the impact of the marriage on the allegations?
Absolutely not. He called, I was in touch with him through the whole process of this charges going on. I was talking to him when he disappeared. I was actually supposed to go to San Juan, Puerto Rico when he left and disappeared, and I got a call that he wasn't going to be there, and I was actually part of the whole thing with him, but talking to him on the phone. So I didn't.
Did you say to him, are they true?
No, I didn't. No, I actually did not.
I want to take a minute here, and I'm going to come back to the marriage.
Sorry, he went on and on and on about it, so I didn't really have to say, are the allegations true? It was, on the phone, and
over and over
just
again.
constant, yeah.
Quando Sawyer pressionou os dois, o mais estranho era que Michael não parecia estar abalado, como a mídia fazia parecer. Ele continuava tranquilo e no controle, enquanto Lisa Marie parecia estar ali para protegê-lo. No fim, a entrevista mostrou como os dois conseguiam lidar com uma enorme pressão sem deixar que isso dominasse eles.
By making sure that the terms are clear. You have said that you would never harm a child. I want to be specific as I can. Did you ever, as this young boy said you did you ever sexually engage, fondle, have sexual contact with this child or any other child?
Never, ever. I could never harm a child or anyone. It's not in my heart. It's not who I am. And it's not what I'm not even interested in that.
And what do you think should be done to someone who does that?
To someone who does that, what I think it should be done, I think they need help in some kind of way, you know?
How about the police photographs, though? How was there enough information from this boy about those kinds of things?
The police photographs,
Have police
that they
photographs.
took of me.
Yes.
There was nothing that matched me to those charges.
There was nothing. There was nothing that concurred.
That's why I'm
Nothing?
sitting here
There was
talking to you
nothing.
today. There was not one iota of information that was found that could connect me.
So when we've heard
these
that there was
charges.
a
There was
marking
nothing.
of some kind,
No markings.
Essa entrevista também mostra muito bem como a imprensa tentava transformar a vida pessoal de Michael em entretenimento. Eles queriam saber se o relacionamento era verdade, se tinha sido planejado, se era só uma encenação ou uma jogada de publicidade. Mas quanto mais os entrevistadores insistiam nisso, mais Michael e Lisa Marie pareciam dispostos a defender a versão deles e mostrar o que realmente tinha acontecido.
why did you settle the case? And it looks to everyone as if you paid a huge amount of money.
I talked to my lawyers and I said, can you guarantee me that justice will prevail? And they said, Michael, we cannot guarantee you that a judge or a jury will do anything. And with that, I was like catatonic. I was outraged.
How much money
Totally
was it?
outraged. So what I said, I have got to do something to get out from under this nightmare. All these lies and all these people coming forward to get paid and these tabloid shows, just lies, 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 lies. So what I did, we got together again with my advisors and they advised me, it was hands down, a unanimous decision, resolve the case. This could be something that could go on for 7 years.
How much
We
money
said, let's
was
get
it?
it behind us.
A força desse momento não tá em Michael ficando bravo, tá no fato dele não deixar o entrevistador colocar a conversa do jeito que queria. Isso era importante porque aquela não era uma entrevista comum com uma celebridade, era um dos maiores eventos da TV naquele momento. Cada reação de Michael era analisada como se fosse uma prova de alguma coisa.
We have called everyone we can call. We have checked everything we can check. We have gone and tried to see if what we heard before is in fact the case. I want to ask you about two things. These reports that we read over and over again, that in your rooms they found photographs of young boys, not of
Young
adults,
boys,
not-
there's children, all kind of girls and everything.
then that they found photographs, books of young boys who were undressed.
No.
Didn't happen.
No, not that I know of, unless people sent me things that I haven't opened. People know my love for children. So they send me books from all over the world, from South America, from Germany, from Italy, from Sweden.
So if people
I-
say that they found those things, if there's an indication, let them come forward, let them produce them, right?
Yeah, because I get all you wouldn't believe the amounts of mail that I get. And if you say to somebody, if I let the fans know I love Charlie Chaplin, I'll be swarmed in Charlie Chaplin paraphernalia.
One of the
But if I say I love children, which I do, they swarm me with everything pertaining to kids.
Depois veio a entrevista no 6 Minutes, que talvez tenha sido uma das mais desconfortáveis de todas. Durante a conversa com Ed Bradley, Michael Jackson falou sobre a polêmica de deixar crianças dormirem em sua cama. Esse assunto já era uma das partes mais delicadas de sua imagem pública, e Bradley não tratou aquilo como uma simples conversa para esclarecer as coisas. Aqui está uma parte daquela conversa.
What is your response to the allegations that were brought by the district attorney in Santa Barbara that you molested this boy?
Totally false. Before I would hurt a child, I would slit my wrists. I would never hurt a child. These are totally false. I was outraged. I could never do something like that.
This is a kid you knew.
Yes.
How would you characterize your relationship with this boy?
I've helped many, many, many children, thousands of children. Cancer kids, leukemia kids. This is one of many.
That British documentary last February, which you didn't like.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
You said in that documentary that many children have slept in your bedroom. You said,
Yes.
and I'm going to quote here, why can't you share your bed? The most loving thing to do is to share your bed with someone.
Yes.
As we sit here today, do you still think that it's acceptable to share your bed with children?
Of course.
O clima era sério porque o assunto também era sério. E foi justamente por isso que o jeito calmo de Michael Jackson chamou tanta atenção. Quanto mais o assunto era tratado de forma pesada, mais ele tentava responder com cuidado e precisão. Ele não parecia estar ali para ganhar uma discussão. Parecia alguém que sabia que a própria discussão já tinha virado parte da história.
Of course, why not? If you're going to be a pedophile, if you're going to be Jack the Ripper, if you're going to be a murderer, it's not a good idea. That I'm not. That's how we were raised. And I didn't sleep in the bed with the child. Even if I did, it's okay. I slept on the floor. I gave the bed to the child.
Se você quer um dos exemplos mais claros de Michael Jackson colocando a mídia contra a parede, a entrevista de 2003 com Martin Barsh foi um dos melhores exemplos disso. Living with Michael Jackson foi um documentário em que Barsh acompanhou Michael de perto e mostrou vários momentos de sua vida. Mais tarde, Michael disse que se sentiu traído pela forma como o programa mostrou sua vida e principalmente seu jeito de ser como pai.
You know, you physically changed, haven't you? The photographs of you, if I look at them
No, it's
from...
called adolescence. It's called growing and changing.
Yeah, but even the shape of your face has changed.
No, it has not. I've had no plastic surgery on my face, just my nose. It helped me breathe better so I can hit higher notes and have clear. The press is like to add on all this stuff. Nothing's been done to my eyes, cheekbones, chins, lips, nothing. They made it all up.
Em 1987, durante uma entrevista para Ebony Jet, Michael já parecia entender muito bem como o mundo tentava defini-lo. Essas primeiras entrevistas são importantes porque mostram que esse jeito de lidar com a mídia não começou depois dos escândalos. Ele já fazia isso desde o começo. Michael aprendeu desde cedo que, se mostrasse emoção demais diante das câmeras, a mídia poderia transformar aquilo em uma história sobre ele, em vez de ouvir o que ele realmente queria dizer. Por isso ele ficou mais cuidadoso, mais calculista, aprendeu a ficar diante das câmeras e manter o controle, mesmo quando milhões de pessoas estavam olhando.
A lot has been required of you. Do you sometimes regret being so utterly famous?
No, sometimes. Only sometimes. Sometimes I want to sneak into places and not have any hoopla or, and it doesn't work all the time because people start and they crowd around, and which is sweet. I mean, I shouldn't complain, but
No, but you have a right to complain because everybody has the right to go out there and to just be alone. But it seems like that right isn't really given to you.
it was part of the work, I would say.
E esse é o verdadeiro poder desses momentos. Eles não mostram Michael Jackson gritando ou tentando humilhar alguém. Mostra alguém que se recusava a perder a calma e a própria dignidade quando as perguntas ficavam pesadas. E mostra um lado de Michael que muitas vezes era mais esperto do que os entrevistadores imaginavam. Ele entendia uma coisa simples. Quanto mais absurda fosse a pergunta, mais importante era não dar a reação que a pessoa estava tentando provocar. Se você curtiu essa retrospectiva dos momentos mais marcantes de Michael, deixa o like, se inscreve no canal e comenta aqui embaixo qual a entrevista que você acha que Michael conduziu melhor.